Many people define a hero as an ordinary person who summons up extraordinary courage, and that certainly describes Leopold Engleitner.
At 101 years of age, he is the oldest known survivor of the Nazi concentration camps, and he is here in the U.S. sharing his life story. KCAL9's Dave Bryant got to meet with him earlier this week. He joins us now live with more. Dave?
Carrie, Sylvia, in my book, when you live to be 100, that's no small achievement in and of itself. But when you undergo a rigorous speaking tour across the entire United States when you're 101, now that's quite an achievement. But with Leopold Engleitner, it was his life, what he has done with his 100 years, living by his principles, that's the real heart of this story. At 101, it's no small achievement that Leopold Engleitner, a retired Austrian farmer, is on a 3-week tour of the United States promoting his message to America. But after all he's been through, this is no big deal. Engleitner is the oldest known survivor of the Holocaust, having survived 3 Nazi concentration camps, including the notorious Buchenwald, an experience still burned into his memory more than 60 years later.
Bei der Einlieferung in Buchenwald.
The most horrible experience when he was delivered to Buchenwald concentration camp. The one who took care of him at the entrance, first of all, he did beat him, and then he pulled out a pistol and wanted to shoot him.
On the last stop of his American tour, Engleitner came to the Museum of the Holocaust on Wilshire Boulevard in L.A. Not bitter, not angry, Mr. Engleitner, the subject of a book and documentary, Unbroken Will, is full of surprises. First of all, he's not Jewish. He's a Jehovah's Witness. And he was a conscientious objector at that time, imprisoned because he refused to fight for the Nazis and refused to say Heil Hitler. And that's part of his message, that Jews were not the only victims of the Holocaust.
It needs to be known that other people than Jewish people perished. As a matter of fact, when you talk about the Holocaust, you talk about 6 million Jews, but there were other 8 million people who perished.
Jehovah's Witnesses were persecuted, as were homosexuals, as were Bastard am Rhein, as were gypsies, as were people with addiction problems. And all of these things need to be brought to light.
But perhaps most surprising about Leopold Engleitner is that while his Jewish prison mates could not escape the terror of the concentration camps, he could have walked out a free man if he had signed a document renouncing his religion. He refused.
It doesn't matter that he's of a different religion than we are. The message is still the same. The message is you must not forget.
Engleitner urges his audiences to stand up for their principles, even if that means saying no at the risk of great personal harm. Still in good humor after all these years, he wants to meet his Austrian countryman, Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, and in halting English promises, if not on this trip, then maybe next time.
I'll be back.
I'm still laughing over that one. He's a remarkable man, 101 years old. His stay here in Los Angeles was extended by one day. He appeared last night at the Holocaust Museum, but there were so many people that wanted to get in, they extended it to an extra night. So this was actually his last night of appearing here in Los Angeles. Now he will head back to Austria, perhaps rest for his next trip to America. Don't be surprised if he's back next year. We're live in Beverly Hills. Dave Bryant, KCAL.